All right. Run it back, nation. Sixers nation. Sixers sickos. Thanks for being here. Again, games without Joel Embiid as we come down towards the last 20-some games of the season. Only real sickos, man. Shout out to everybody that was in the playback stream. Yeah. Real hardcore, maniacal, just self-sabotaging Sixers fans are participating in this. 133 people in here. Please do me a favor, close out the chat, hit the like button. That's how we get this stream pushed to more people, and we get up over 400, 500, 800, 1,000 live viewers. You never know, but do me a favor and close out the chat, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. We do these shows after every single 76ers game. The Discord link is in the description if you want to call the show and give me your thoughts. Can't wait to hear what you think about what went down. And this is brought to you by BetUS. Get 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,500 right now when you sign up for BetUS. Use my link in the description with the code JOIN125 to get 125% deposit on your first 3 deposits up to $2,500. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring the channel. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the game. A little bit of a roller coaster ride, you know. In today's NBA, you can't ever really turn off the game. Sixers were down by, the Knicks started the game 12-3. They started out the game on a 12-3 run. And there's going to be a lot of slander aimed at one particular player in this show tonight. There's also going to be a little bit of Nick Nurse slander also. But they start the game out 12-3. We were down 22 in the second quarter. A lot of people were saying, it's over. I'm turning this off. I'm going to do something else. And of course, the Sixers can't win a game easily. They did a lot this season with Joel Embiid sitting fourth quarters and things like that. But usually just Sixers, they either win and blow a lead and have to hold on by the edge, hanging on the ledge, just to give us some stress and anxiety at the end. Or they're losing by 22 and they can't just go down easy. They got to fight back, make a comeback, get us invested again. So now we're back on the edge of our seats in the fourth quarter. And they don't pull out the victory. It's just Sixers basketball. It's just the way that it goes. Couple of initial thoughts on this. Nick Nurse, his lineups in this game. All right. The Sixers made a couple of runs that, the New York Knicks are, I would say, the most physical team in the NBA. All right. They got a lot of guys that are strong, quick, good size. Tom Thibodeau's a defensive coach. They play a zone. They play different types of zone. They fly out to the three-point line. They're a physical team. And there was a couple of lineups where the Sixers were getting their ass kicked from the jump because they had players on the floor who are not physical players, okay? They made a couple of runs once they switched to some lineups that included more physical players, okay? Now, 2 runs I witnessed off the top of my head that the Sixers made with physical lineups, and then they went back to the starting lineup. The run went away. Once again, they went back to a physical lineup. Start the fourth quarter. They started the fourth quarter with the physical lineup. Make a run. 6-point game. They go back to the starting lineup for some reason. Run goes away. Game over. I literally really think this is the first time I'm saying this season because I like Nick Nurse, and when comparing him to the other guy, it's obvious who's better. But Nick Nurse fell into some habits in this game, and he played favorites in this game. And that's what ultimately cost them at the end. Both of the runs that happened did not include a player that seems to be still this organization's favorite player. Daryl Morey's best friend. And Nick Nurse, I know maybe you got your hands tied. You have to play him because of the money that he's making. But both of the runs that happened in this game were without that player who plays terrible against the New York Knicks every time he plays them because they're a physical team. He gets pushed around and he backs down and he quits. By the fourth quarter, he was playing like Ben Simmons. He was asking people to take the ball away from him. Here, please, you take it. So this game, the Sixers fought and clawed their way back. They had no business being in the game. The Knicks are a better team right now without Joel Embiid. You're not. I mean, if they fall to the 7th seed and play the Knicks in the first round, it's a gentleman's sweep. The Knicks are stacked. They added a couple of guys at the trade deadline that we're gonna get into that. Don't you worry. But the first thing I want to say is this loss is, I think, mostly on just. For some reason, Nick Nurse just didn't want to go with the hot hand. He didn't want to go with the guys that made you those runs. He kept going back to that starting lineup. One player who's overpaid and probably at this point has no business being out there against a team like the Knicks. And another player in Nick Batum who is a good complementary piece to Joel Embiid, but I think we're all going to find out pretty quickly that, Nick Batum, without Embiid on the floor, I don't know if he offers a whole lot, A lot of things went wrong in this game. There's a lot of reasons the Sixers ended up losing, and we're going to talk about absolutely all of them. Kyle Lowry's debut as a Philadelphia 76er, I personally feel like Kyle Lowry's debut couldn't have gone any better than it did. I think it was absolutely phenomenal. I think he brings such a level of poise and experience and order as a 16-year point guard in the league. It's wild when you watch some of these teams, a lot like the Knicks before Brunson, right? And I'm not comparing Lowry to Brunson whatsoever at this stage of his career, but a lot like the Knicks before Brunson, a lot of randomness, a lot of decent, good players, but just kind of running in circles, no real identity. Tyrese Maxey, I love him at such a young age. And I think he's developed some point guard abilities. But when you see an experienced point guard like Kyle Lowry on the floor, it slows the game down. It puts things in order. And it was fun to watch. And I think if he stays healthy, Kyle Lowry doesn't play with a level of athleticism that he needs. He's just a high IQ guy who can make the right play. And it was nice having him out there. And if he stays healthy, I think he can be a big part of this team. I really do. He's really something that the Sixers have needed since the other guy, left. So shout out to Kyle Lowry for making his debut. He got elbowed in the head. He got stitches in the locker room. I'm sorry, Kyle Lowry. That's just what happens when you put on a Sixers jersey. Bad things happen. I would say, how many times do you think Kyle Lowry's been elbowed in the forehead and needed stitches during a game in his career? 2, 3 off the top? Doesn't happen that often. Put a Sixers jersey on, pow, elbow in the forehead, blood everywhere, got to go in the locker room and get stitches. Sorry, Kyle Lowry. I know you wanted to play for your hometown team and you're excited to be here, but you just learned what happens when you put on a Sixers jersey. It's something that Philadelphia did in a past life, or the crack in the Liberty Bell is a curse. Something's going on here. So it's wild. It's incredible. Really is. But I thought Kyle Lowry's debut for the Sixers was great. Tyrese Maxey was kind of trying to do everything by himself most of the game outside of Lowry and his facilitating, but scoring-wise, really, Tyrese Maxey was trying to do everything by himself. He was going off for most of the game. The Knicks, they're really going to force the ball out of his hands and make somebody else beat you. They're a really good defensive team, and that's what they did. And I feel like, I didn't look at the fourth quarter stats, but I feel like Tyrese Maxey got kind of shut down in the fourth quarter. Yeah, he had, what did he have at halftime? 17. He had 27 going into the fourth, I think, and he finished with 35. That's just off the top. But, I can't slander Tyrese Maxey. He dropped 35 points against New York Knicks. Tyrese Maxey's a bucket. We all know it. And in this stretch of games here towards the end of the season where, we're going to watch a lot of games like this, at least we get to watch Tyrese Maxey score, right? Yeah. That's my initial take. I have a lot I want to say about a certain player and the Sixers and what they need to do to survive this gauntlet, and a lot about what happened in this game. And we're going to get to that. We're going to get to the chat. We're going to get to the live callers on the Discord. And yeah, we're going to keep it moving. First, we got to drop the sponsor. This is brought to you by BetUS. Make an account at betus.com and you will get 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits. I want to show you this one. I just posted this today. Knicks versus Sixers player props. This guy right here. Bojan Bogdanovic. 21 or more points was a plus 125 on BetUS today. And I said, go take that bet. Because do you remember what he did to us when he played for Detroit? And now he's on the Knicks. And he's the exact type of player that would cook us off the bench. Go there and put money on that, on Bogdanovic. And guess what? He pulled it off. He dropped 22. So the plus 125 hit on BetUS. If you haven't already, go to BetUS, make an account. You will get 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,500 using code JOIN125. Link is in the description and pinned at the top of this chat. Thank you, BetUS, for sponsoring the channel. Now, let's talk about it, okay? Let's talk about it. What's going on in the chat here? Cammy with $2 super chat. People saying we are too Embiid-centric, LOL. I have no idea what that means. I mean, Joel Embiid's the best player in the world. He's the MVP. He's, of course you're Embiid-centric. We're the Chicago Bulls too Michael Jordan-centric. We're the LA Lakers too Kobe Bryant-centric. We're the, I mean, what are we talking about here? Are the Denver Nuggets too Nikola Jokic-centric? Yeah, your best player runs a team. Your best player runs a team. So I don't understand, without Joel Embiid, you're going to struggle. People need to understand that. People think that without your best player, you should still win a lot of games. And they'll say things like, see, they were too Embiid-centric. Now without Embiid, they can't win. That's how it goes, bro. The New England Patriots were too Tom Brady-centric. Without Tom Brady, well, they still won some games. They made Jimmy Garoppolo look good for a couple years there. But you get my point. He's your best player. Of course, your team is Joel Embiid-centric. Yeah, let's get into it, okay? Let's get into it. I got to get this off my chest, man. I got to get this off my chest. It absolutely has to happen. It absolutely has to happen. Philadelphia 76ers. Nick Nurse, please, for the love of God and all things that I enjoy in life, have enough balls to bench Tobias Harris. Nick Nurse, please, for the love of God and everything I love in this life, have enough balls to bench Tobias Harris. Please, we cannot continue this. This, at this stage, is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You started the game getting smacked. Tobias Harris starts the game. He gets rejected by DiVincenzo at the rim. Soft take to the rim. Then he airballs a 3. Then he bricks the next shot. Then he gets beat backdoor by Precious Achiuwa. Then he goes to the bench. Sixers down 12-3. All right? This is a physical team. He always sucks against the Knicks because he doesn't play physical. But you got to force him down. You got to force him onto the floor. Why? Is it the owners that want it? He's being paid this amount of money. He has to be out there. Is that what it is? Anyway, Sixers make a little bit of a run. When second quarter, third quarter, Sixers cut it to 15. Tobias Harris comes back in the game. Back-to-back terrible plays. Kyle Lowry drives, makes a nice dish underneath. No, it was Maxey drives, makes a nice dish underneath to Tobias Harris under the rim as they cut it to 15. All you got to do is catch the pass and put it up. He drops it out of bounds, turnover. He drives, pushes off the defender, gets away with it, gets clean stripped, turnover. Anyway, Tobias Harris goes back to the bench. Guess what? The Sixers make another run. Because every time he goes out of the game, the energy goes through the roof. And you got guys like KJ Martin out there sprinting around playing defense. Kelly Oubre sprinting around playing defense. You got guys out there diving for loose balls, playing 100% when he's on the bench. They cut it to 6 points in the fourth quarter. Guess who Nick Nurse puts back in the game? You guessed it. Tobias Harris. And not just Tobias Harris, the combination of Tobias Harris and Nicholas Batum in that situation against a physical team that's already out rebounding you by 1,000,000. Now the game's over. The game's over. You cut it to 6, and you immediately put Tobias Harris and Nick Batum back in the game. Now guess what? Bad perimeter defense, bad interior defense, can't get a rebound, bad transition defense, game over. That was it. If you have to play one of them, you got to make a choice. You can't put Batum and Tobias Harris on the floor against the Knicks in crunch time, especially with Tobias playing the way that he played in this game. He was embarrassing once again. And it's just crazy to me that it was clear as day that all of the runs that happened in this game were with him on the bench. As soon as he went to the bench, the energy went through the roof and the guys started playing scrappy and started playing hard-nosed basketball. And as soon as he came back in, everything changed. It happened, and it was so obvious. And I was watching the start of the fourth quarter, and they cut it to 6. And I said, is he going to leave Tobias on the bench? Is he actually going to do it? No. There he is. He's out there, finishing lineup. He's out there. 6-point lead goes up to 15 because offensive rebound after offensive rebound after offensive rebound. And then he puts him on the bench with 3 minutes left. That's number one. Please, how are we going to keep doing this? How are we going to keep doing this? How are we going to keep forcing Tobias Harris onto the floor? I will never understand it. When he's having an absolutely putrid game, giving you absolutely nothing positive, and the other guys make a run. KJ Martins and Kelly Oubre's. You just have to bring Tobias back? You just have to? I don't understand it. And now let's talk about Bogdanovich. Yeah. At the trade deadline, Detroit Pistons say, hey, we're stupid. We want Tobias Harris for some reason. We'll give you Bogdanovich and Alec Burks. Daryl Morey says, hell no. Assassin scorer? You think I'm going to give you my assassin scorer for Bogdanovich and Alec Burks? And I was telling people, dude, Bogdanovich himself is better than Tobias Harris, and people are arguing with me on Twitter. Bogdanovich is a 42% three-point shooter on 7 attempts per game. He's a certified sniper. And he said no. Now, what do you get in this game? Bogdanovich comes to Philly. And he says, you guys didn't want to trade for me? Watch this. And he goes fucking super saiyan on us, dude. The guy went absolutely unconscious in the second quarter or third quarter. He had 4 straight three-pointers. He got to the point where he was shooting threes and walking away when the ball was in the air because he knew it was money. And here we are. Tobias Harris, 7 points, 9 field goal attempts in 27 minutes. 4 rebounds in 27 minutes. 4 rebounds for 6'8" Tobias Harris in 27 minutes. 4 rebounds, dude. 4. Come on, man. What are we talking about here? KJ Martin in 21 minutes, 7 rebounds. Kyle Lowry had as many rebounds as Tobias Harris in this game. 37-year-old point guard Kyle Lowry had as many rebounds as Tobias Harris in this game. So somebody tell me, what does Tobias Harris do good for him to come back into the game in the fourth quarter? What does he bring to the team? I need to know. Doesn't make any sense. Also, Ricky Council Last game, Ricky Council off the bench, 19-10, right? What was that, against the Cavs? The win against the Cavs or the one after that, either way. Ricky Council's ramping back up. Cammy said he brings leadership, LOL. Yeah, exactly. Oh, he's a locker room guy. You can't get rid of the locker room guy. Well, I want people that fucking rebound. How about that? How about I'll take no locker room guys and some rebounders, okay? Ricky Council, yeah, he's getting more minutes game by game. He's looking like a really physical, aggressive player, good size, can handle the ball, can finish at the rim, fights and fights and fights under the glass. What did he play in this game? He got put in at the end of the second quarter, and he got put in at the end of the game. Ricky Council played 4 minutes. At this point, for what this team needs right now, which is physicality and heart, Ricky Council is better than Tobias Harris. At this point, for what this team needs right now. Somebody tell me why Nick Nurse wouldn't play him. So that's who it's on. That's my opinion. That's who it's on. It's on Nick Nurse, his obsession with Tobias Harris, Daryl Morey's obsession with Tobias Harris, and the fact that he just had to go back to that starting lineup. He just had to go back to Batum and Harris, and they got out-rebounded by 1,000,000. They made runs. He just didn't want to stick with the team that was making the runs. I got a little bit of Glenn Rivers out of this game from Nick Nurse. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I got a little bit of Glenn Rivers out of Nick Nurse in this game. Buddy Hield, first bad game for the Sixers since he came here in the trade. You know, Knicks played tough perimeter defense. He was 5 for 15 for 14 points. You know, you can't slander Buddy Hield too much about that. He took some bad shots, made some mistakes, whatever. I want to shout out KJ Martin, because KJ Martin off the bench, especially during those 2 runs that we made, he was playing excellent defense. He was standing guys up who were trying to drive into the lane. He was standing guys up trying to drive into the lane. And he was rebounding. And he was fighting. Tobias Harris is a better basketball player than KJ Martin. But again, for what the Sixers needed against a team like the Knicks tonight, there's a reason KJ Martin was a part of both of those runs. And yeah, I've said a lot about KJ Martin. As long as I don't ever have to see him dribble the ball or do a floater or try to score. On the defensive end, he was great, and he was giving you some rebounds. But you just had to go back to Tobias Harris, man. You just had to go back to Tobias Harris, and, you know, they got smoked on the boards. I don't even have to look at the team stats to know that. Paul Reed finished the game with 5 rebounds. That's terrible. Mo Bamba only played 5 minutes, which means they were playing Batum at center at some points. Just, bro. And I've said on this show, I've said on I said it on the Bleacher Report stream. I said this team's going to fall to the 8th seed. This is the type of stuff you're going to see. Now, outside of Nick Nurse's decisions or whatever, the Sixers had no business being in this game anyway because the Knicks are better. The Knicks are physical. They have a ton of role players. They got guys that can get buckets all over the place. Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, Jalen Brunson. And then they add Bogdanovich and Alec Burks, who just start bombing threes. The Knicks are really good. But, you know, the Sixers made runs and they could have capitalized. And I get so frustrated when I watch a coach not reward the team that made the runs. I remember a Doc Rivers game last year where the starters were playing like garbage. He put the whole bench in the game. The bench made a comeback late, and he put the starters back in the game. I don't think he should ever do that. The team that's making the run, that's the team that should finish the game. So Nurse has some things to figure out here. He has some things to figure out here, man. RJ7 Deuce, Tobias is a guy you work with who is awful at his job, but he's the boss's nephew. He can't ever do anything. He can't do anything else when his shot isn't full. He can't get a shot off against the Knicks. He can't get a shot off against the Knicks. He's so bad against teams like the Knicks. They're too physical. Tobias is not mentally strong enough to play against the Knicks. And that's what happened tonight. And Nick Nurse just had to go back to Tobias Harris, and that's the story of the game. And that's frustrating because you had a chance to win and you have a chance to kind of try to survive and maybe stay out of the play-in tournament before hopefully Joel Embiid comes back. But if this team is just going to continue to have an obsession with Tobias Harris, it's not going to work. Can we please choose winning over playing this guy? What else we got? People are saying the Sixers are going to fall to the 10th seed. They would have to do something very drastic to fall to the 10th seed, but you got a tough schedule coming up, man. You got a real tough schedule coming up. You do. Look, I loved Kyle Lowry's debut. I loved it, man. You know, his first points as a Sixer, he pump fake drive, up and under finish. Just real casual, real smooth with it, just real poised, experienced, and he's getting guys open shots. And this is the first game that he's played with Tyrese Maxey and Buddy Hield, so expect that to continue. You know, fourth quarter, when we made another run, another huge play was a Kyle Lowry drive and a kick out all the way back to the three-point line for Tyrese Maxey. He had another assist to Buddy Hield at one point where he drove and drew in the defense and kicked it out to Buddy, and Buddy Hield wide open. It's a free throw. You know, and he hit that. So I really, really liked Kyle Lowry's debut. I don't know if he's going to start Lowry. It's complicated with, you know, Maxey being a starting point guard and Buddy Hield being a shooting guard. You know, can you really start Lowry, Maxey, and Hield? But as far as the finishing lineup goes, I think that's what I would like to see towards the end of most of these games is I think you have to have Lowry out there to finish the game. I think you do. And Nurse loves him, so you're probably going to see him out there to finish games. As long as he's healthy, he gives you an element that you don't have, and I like it. So shout out to Kyle Lowry for his debut. And, you know, as it continues, I expect him to, you know, get more chemistry and gel with these guys even more, and it'll look better as it goes on. That's my take on Kyle Lowry. This ain't the first game Nurse's decisions making with the rotations cost or almost cost them a game. Yeah, I mean, you know, coaches make mistakes, but it's this damn obsession with Tobias Harris that's going to drive me absolutely bonkers, man. It is. It's going to drive me nuts, dude. I can't handle it. Not too negative. Sixers aren't falling to 10th. 8 games back, they can't beat G League teams. That's not true. They just beat the Cleveland Cavaliers a couple of games ago. They just beat the Utah Jazz a couple of games ago. I don't, you know, let's not also have this recency bias and act like every team plays defense like the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks play really tough defense. The New York Knicks can make a lot of teams look bad. The New York Knicks can take the Sixers completely. There was no reason for this game to even be close. Every NBA team doesn't play defense like the New York Knicks. I'm not saying the Sixers are good without Joel Embiid, but I don't think they're going to fall to the 10th seed. Let's look at the standings. Okay? Let's do that. Let's look at the standings and talk about it. If you want to give me your thoughts, Discord link is in the description. You can call into the Discord and give me your thoughts. If you're over it and you don't care and you don't want to talk about it, that's cool too. Didn't I just get to the standings, bro? Come on. More standings. All right, let's see. Eastern Conference, here we go. What do we got? We got Boston, Cleveland, Milwaukee, New York, Philly. Indiana's right there. Yeah, we're falling to 6. That's for sure. Orlando's right there, 31-25. You could fall to 8, and that's my prediction, is that they're going to fall to 8. I think they're going to beat some teams. They're going to fight. They're going to upset some teams. Not every team plays defense like the New York Knicks. They do play the Knicks, I think, 2 more times in this stretch, which is tough. I think the Sixers can take out the Bucks. Who do they got? They got Cleveland tomorrow. Then they got Milwaukee. Then they got Boston. But to fall to the 9th or 10th seed, they would have to go on a massive losing streak. And I don't think they're that bad. I think this Knicks team can make you look bad. Tobias Harris plays with no hunger, $40 million a year, you say. Bro, it's crazy. It's embarrassing, man. And I can't believe we've been watching it for as long as we've been watching it. The guy doesn't care. He has no fight in him. He's so similar to Ben Simmons, it's crazy. He has no fight. He has no dog inside him. There's a play where he lost the ball, and I think Bogdanovich was on the floor, and Tobias tripped over him and fell and had got his hand on the ball. It's the only time I've ever seen Tobias Harris dive for a loose ball, and it was by accident. Somebody in the playback chat said Kyle Lowry is going to have more career charges than Tobias Harris. He only needs 1. Tobias has 0 charges taken as a Philadelphia 76er in 5 years. Serious, that's a real stat. He moves out of the way and swipes at the ball. And it's like, I get what Daryl Morey, they value that expiring contract. Here's what's going to happen. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Here's why they didn't trade for Bojan and Alec Burks, and I would have loved that trade. It would have helped us. But if you're not getting Embiid back, Bojan has another year on his contract next season, so you're not clearing as much cap space as if you keep Tobias Harris and clear his whole $40 million this offseason. That's why Daryl Morey did it, because Daryl Morey thinks that he's signing a superstar in the offseason. Daryl Morey is obsessed with superstars. He's never going to not be obsessed with superstars. He's always going to be star hunting. It's what he does. And he's trying to clear as much cap space as he can because he wants Paul George, or he wants to trade for LeBron James. He wants Giannis to ask out of Milwaukee. I don't know. That's why he's doing it. Because, the Bogdanovich trade would have been nice, and Burks would have been nice. But at the end of the day, I understand both sides. If you're not getting Joel Embiid back this year, there's no real point in doing that. If the Sixers feel like they can get him back, maybe you should have done it. If they would have been very confident that he's coming back, I think they would have done it. I think they're not. I think they don't know. And I think that's why it didn't happen. That's what I think. But I can't believe what I watched in this game. I really can't. I can't believe that I watched this team suck with Tobias Harris on the floor. I watched them make runs as soon as he went to the bench. I watched him put him back in. I watched the energy get sucked out of the building again and the run stop. I watched him go back to the bench. They made another run. They cut it to 6 in the fourth quarter, and he put Harris back in the game with Batum. They got out-rebounded by a million. They got beat in transition. They got beat at the rim, and the game was over. And that annoys me. So this game is on Nick Nurse, and for whatever reason, he won't grow balls to bench Tobias Harris. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. We got Peter D in the Discord, man. Peter. Yo, Peter, what's going on, man? Oh, I got to put myself in here. Hold up. My bad. Peter, you can hear me?
Yeah, hey, how's it going, man?
What's going on, bro?
Hey, I just got a quick question. Probably going to sound stupid asking you. What is, I understand the value of an expiring contract, but if we traded Tobias, that money's cleared anyway, and let's say we did get Bojan, we'd have him for next year. What would, I don't understand what the advantage would be. I'm just curious on what you mean by that.
Well, if you keep Tobias and then you're clearing $40 million off the books. If you trade him for Bogdanovich has another year at $19 million. So this offseason, you wouldn't have that $19 million in free cap space. That would be tied up in the last year of Bogdanovich's contract. So that's
yeah.
That's what it is.
So,
he has another year on his contract, so you'd be paying him $19 million instead of not paying anyone that money and having $40 million open. But that's what it is.
But just another question would be, what if? I mean, having him would be great anyway, even next year. So what's the big deal about paying him the $19 million next year? Or am I just thinking wrong?
No, that's true. Having him next year would be great. He's the kind of player that you would like on the floor, off the bench, and in like staggered lineups with Joel. I mean, he's a sniper, man. He dropped 33 on us in Detroit. He just dropped 22 on us. You're not wrong. It'd be nice to have him anyway. So why didn't you make the trade? If it wasn't money reasoning, I have no idea. Because the Daryl Morey posting pictures in front of a crumble cookie thing pissed me off so much because it's not a joke to us. Sixers fans were like, dude, get this guy the fuck out of here. It's not a joke. Yeah. And he jokes about it. I don't know.
Yeah, and my comment is based upon I want him freaking gone. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The infatuation, at this point, I want him gone so bad, I don't give a shit if we have money we have to pay. You know what I mean? It's like, get his ass out of here.
I know he's had chances for a couple of years to trade him, and he just won't do it. So I don't understand it either.
Yeah.
But as soon as he has a good game, as soon as he has a good, he probably does
or something, man.
He might.
Oh, sorry.
As soon as he has a good game, he posts Tobias's stats on Twitter right away.
Yes, he does immediately.
Yep.
Yeah, about once every 4 games, 5 games. Yep. Now lately 7 games.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I don't get it.
Thanks, man.
I'll let
some other people get on.
All right, man. Thank you. Shout out to Peter on the Discord. All right, man. We're chilling. We're hanging out. Let's go over to Twitter and see what the responses are on Sixers Twitter. Let's see. Sixers top. Kyle Lowry's debut. He gets a ovation from the crowd. Oh, there's the elbow to the head. That sucks, dude. Can something just good happen without, does he have to get elbowed in the face his Sixers debut and bleed and go to the locker room and get stitches? Sean Bernard, my guy, I cannot overstate how poorly Tobias Harris has played tonight. Sixers may very well have won this game if he was just out injured. You saw how they played against the Cavs, minus him. Kyle Lowry in Sixers debut, 11-5, 4, 5 of 7, 1 of 2 from three-point range. Great debut for Kyle Lowry. Maxey says Lowry's communication and leadership were on display tonight. It was times when I was trying to run a different play, and he was like, no, we're running this play. You're going to be right here with the ball, and you're going to do this. And I'm like, all right, cool. Shout out to Kyle Lowry, man, for running. Look at the patched head, bro. Look how mad, bro. This is really mad. I come to my home city to play for my favorite team, and this is what happens. This is what happens. Yeah. Look, last thing I'm going to say, I didn't want this whole show to be about Tobias Harris, but I just can't. There's just hardly anything else I can talk about when it comes to this game. If it's the money you want to clear in the offseason, dude, just sit him down. Ankle jam, sore knee, whatever it is, sit him down. Just sit him down. Anybody with a brain can see that this team plays better without him. And put Ricky Council on the floor, damn it. That's all I got, man. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. 346 of you maniacs in here. Hit the like button. Close the chat. Hit the like. Well, I'll hang out and talk to the chat for a couple minutes yet. Well, if you guys want to, we'll put your comments on the screen here. We'll hang out for a couple more minutes. God named Tay. Every show can be about how bad Tobias Harris is until he's off this team, just like Ben Simmons was. We don't mind you telling the truth. It just sucks that I come up here and I'm like, hey, we lost because of Tobias Harris and because Nick Nurse felt like he had to play him even though he was sucking it up the whole game. Every time he left the floor, the team looked better, but nobody wants to admit that. And they, every game, bro. Every game it feels like that. Tobias Harris wasn't the only problem tonight. How was Nick Nurse's substitutions? The Sixers suck. We are going nowhere fast. Tobias Harris wasn't the only problem tonight. How were Nick Nurse's substitutions? Nick Nurse's substitutions were really bad when he put Tobias Harris back in the game. And then they were good when he took Tobias Harris out of the game. And you know when Nick Nurse's substitutions were bad again? When he put Tobias Harris back in the game. Yeah, those go hand in hand because Nick Nurse's substitutions, he's substituting players in and out of the game. One of those players is Tobias Harris, and the team is better when he's on the bench. Hollywood, start Lowry, Maxey, Hield, Oubre, and Reed next game. Ooh. Start Lowry, Max. I don't know if he's going to start Lowry. What do you guys think? Because Lowry looked good. And again, he doesn't play he doesn't rely on athleticism. He can really give you something when he's healthy. And I think he could play for a couple more years, honestly. He's just a high IQ guy. He just makes the right play. Still has still a threat to shoot from the perimeter, so he keeps the defense honest. And so he can get that pump fake off and get in the lane and then draw the defense and kick it out. Nice up and under finish. I liked what Kyle Lowry did, man. I wouldn't be shocked if Nick Nurse starts him. If we, this is a gauntlet right now. Tomorrow, the Cavs, then you got the Bucks, then you got the Celtics. Say they go 0-4. Say they go 0-4 in that stretch. They're going to have to shake some things up. And if Tobias Harris is terrible for all 4 of those games, they're going to have to seriously consider sitting him out. Melton is coming back too. I forgot about Melton. I thought he was going to play in this game. I just can't understand why Tobias doesn't grab rebounds if he's struggling to shoot. I don't know. Some people have the heart of a lion. He has the heart of a kitty cat. Same evolutionary family, right? Still a cat. One's a lion. One's a kitty cat. When some threat comes when some threat comes around, a lion's ready to fight. Threat comes around, kitty cat, tail puffs up, hiss, run away. Tobias Harris got the heart of a kitty cat. And I've watched it for 5 fucking years. And this team has so many players on it now that play physical and play with heart and want to give 100% and want to scrap and claw and play like dogs. But this guy is still here. This guy is still here, bro. Can you believe that? It drives me nuts, dude. It drives me nuts. Hey, listen. Thank you guys for tuning in. We might be in big trouble, bro. We might lose a lot of games. We might be in big trouble. We'll see what happens, man. Trade number 12. Trade deadline's over, buddy. We're screwed. We might be in big trouble, man. We might be in big trouble. I don't know what else to say. But hey, at least we can turn this stream off and we can go do something that has nothing to do with the Philadelphia 76ers. And we can forget about them for the rest of the night. Until tomorrow, we're back. Peter, fact is, it's the same Tobias, just at the impossible roved roster showing how bad he is. Well, yeah, he's always been the same, of course. He plays good against teams that are small and have terrible defensive strategies, like the Brooklyn Nets in the playoffs last year when we swept them in the first round. The one Tobias Harris defender was up here saying he scored 20 points against the Nets in the first round. Come on, man. It's yeah. Peter said, "Sorry, I haven't been drinking, although I should be." I'm also refusing to drink. Shout out to us, because watching the last 20 games of this season without Joel and the gauntlet schedule that they have, it's going to be very hard to watch these games without some kind of without some kind of just depressant in the system. 10 seed, here we come. What are you going to do when Morey resigns Tobias? I'm personally never support. Bro, if it happens, I'm just going to cry. Like, I'm going to cry real tears for a long time, because this is real life. This is real years of people's lives. You know? You're watching, people are spending years of their lives watching this. And this guy just won't go away. Anyway, it's only sports. It doesn't really matter. Let's all go enjoy life outside of the Sixers. And I'll see you right back here for Absolute Turmoil tomorrow. Love you all, man. Thank you for being here.